Welcome to Chengdu, Sichuan. Here we are in the center of the city, and we're here for one thing: 甜水面, sweetwater noodles, an iconic Chengdu street snack. They're thick, chewy flour noodles covered in a sweet, spicy, and aromatic sauce. There's a restaurant by the name of Zhanglao. All of these noodles are made from scratch on location. Not many places do that anymore. Aihao. So, 甜水面 is a pretty stiff dough. What's known about this noodle is that it's hardcore, it's chunky, and it's quite chewy. So the amount of water in it is not that high. The noodle therefore becomes very, very stiff. And the reason why it's chewy and delicious is because of the work that goes into it. First of all, I think we need to acknowledge the quantity of noodles he's planning to make. Two very simple ingredients, just the flour and the water. Look how intense this dough is. What makes it incredible is its texture. And that texture, that chewiness, that glutinousness, in my opinion, it comes from labor. Chef has to do this 2-3 times. No machine here. Just 20 odd years of experience. The name of this restaurant is kind of typical of Sichuanese snack places. A place, a person's name, and the thing that they sell. Dongziko is a little neighborhood, little district a little further north in Chengdu. Zhanglao, that guy's name, and what he used to sell liangfen. But the deliciousness of their sweetwater noodles has overcome the liangfen, which is the name on the front of the shop. After the dough has been thoroughly kneaded, it's separated into loaves to rest. So this flour dough is going to rest for the gluten to slowly transform. One of the secrets of Sichuan cuisine is actually this. So this is cai ziyu, which unfortunately in English goes by something called rapeseed oil. It's an earthier, greener, less processed oil. It's actually the predecessor to canola. And that's what chef has put over the top of the dough while that dough rests. Oil over the top is to seal it, to stop a skin from forming on the outside of the dough so that it's easier to work with as he lets it rest. The other key component of the dish is obviously the sauce. If the noodle is the texture, this is where the flavor is. So chef here is adding brown sugar, slab sugar some might call it, straight into the water. This is going to form the base of what they call the tianmianjiang, which is the sweet water noodles sauce. A little bit of spice goes in, ground, mostly warming spices, things along the lines of fennel, cardamom, cinnamon, Sichuan peppercorn, so on and so forth. They say it's proprietary, so we don't know exactly what's inside of it. Their idea for a sweet noodle sauce, what they call tianmianjiang, is a thickened soy sauce. Soy sauce is made differently in different parts of China. Here in Sichuan, one of the most popular for cold dishes is a slightly sweeter version called hong jiangyu. Hong as in red, jiangyu as in soy sauce. The sauce is going to simmer until the brown sugar is entirely melted. Couple of minutes. Chef is building a little bit of a starch slurry, cold water, and cornstarch, letting it all dissolve, and he's going to add this in stages. That's going to thicken it, giving it a little bit of structure to hold onto the noodles when they're tossed together. Once the soy sauce mixture comes to a boil, it's going to be hot enough to gelatinize the starch inside of the cornstarch slurry when it's added. Here it goes. Slowly, constantly mixing. The starch slurry is added. It slowly thickens the sauce. So it's a little temperamental. So the amount that he adds, he says, depends on the day. He's constantly moving it to make sure it's evenly distributed. It's all by sight and it has to be added slowly, gradually. That brown sugar with its higher molasses content than white sugar gives it that red, dark brown sheen. When the entire sauce is cooled, the starch will complete its gelatinization process and it'll be the right thickness, the right viscosity to cling onto those noodles. Beautiful. Sweet, thickened, fortified with spice. That's what we're looking for in the sweet water noodle sauce, the tianmianjiang. He's going to make 4 buckets of noodle sauce here. That's enough for the first half of the day. All right, I'll show you the rest of the kitchen. Everybody's ready to work. Just as the customers are going to start filing in, they're finishing the preparation for the last of the fresh ingredients. Here are scallions by the kilo, and Chef here's got his scallion goggles on. These aromatics, this green, the celery, the scallions, counterbalances the heavier flavors of the soy sauce, the garlic. Let's check back in on the noodle dough. So Chef is kneading the dough. He's just like mixing it to get that really strong gluten structure inside of the dough of the noodle. It's a huge amount of work. He's putting his whole body weight onto it. The entire table is shaking. Here's the last rolling of the dough. He's rolling it out slowly, letting the dough relax just a little bit. He's trying to get a very even sheet from which he'll cut the noodles. It's a hefty noodle. It's heavy. When we eat it, you don't get very many noodles because of how intense it is. Oh, but he's cutting it. With his left hand, he's slowly rolling the dough stick as the guidance for the noodles themselves, and the right hand just smooth cuts forwards and backwards. Whoa. It's about a little less than a centimeter. Some of them are about a centimeter thick. He's using his entire arm, using the momentum to carry him through every single stroke. Chef is so focused. A little bit of flour over the top to keep it from sticking, and then watch this. It's loosening it, pulling it just to give it a little bit more length. Take off the ends. That's wow, amazing. Straight into the water. Cooks for about 3 minutes. Being stirred constantly. It doesn't get fresher than this. Some of this technique reminds you of la mian, of pulled noodles, but they're looking for totally different things. He's looking for a very thick noodle. He's looking for a lot of gluten, a lot of intensity. He's looking for chewiness. Beautiful. So it cooks for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's a thick noodle after all, but it is fresh. After the noodles have come up, they go into this bamboo tray. Look at all that beautiful imperfection, perfectly imperfect. All that texture, all those little strands coming off the side of the noodles, that's all going to catch up that delicious sauce that they spent so long cooking. Chef is putting on a little bit more oil to stop them from sticking. The noodles are going to dry naturally. The starch will finish gelatinizing as it cools, and the final texture will be achieved. After the noodles have been made, the first bowl needs to be tested. First bowl, you can see all the components: MSG, cumin, sugar, the spice, the red oil, the hongyou, the hongjiangyou. If it doesn't pass his test, it doesn't go out to the customer. If it's not good enough for him, it's not good enough for anybody else. 怎么样？
这个面又很有嚼劲，它就是软糯香甜。
这个做完之后能放多久？那个面条？
当天。
那今天 pass 吗？今天行吗？好，
这个很好。
好，approved. Onto business. We're in the finishing kitchen. I just want to show you this. You can see the pull of the dough and the craggliness as a symbol that they've actually done this by hand. It's not machine made. And I think that is actually really quite important because that texture on the top and on the surface of the noodle is what allows the noodle to hold onto that sauce. The reason why this noodle is so thick is because the sauce is thick. The reason why the noodle is so intense is because the sauce is so intense. Oh, she's making some now. Whenever it's being served, you can see all of the flavors that go into it. Sesame seed, sesame paste, garlic and rapeseed oil, chili oil, Sichuan peppercorn, MSG, and sugar. Salt, soy sauce, black vinegar, 凉粉 sauce, and 甜面酱. All of those individual components are on the side, but when it's added all together, it's almost like before you mix it, you can anticipate what these individual components taste like, and when you do mix it, it becomes cohesive. By the way, just pause. She's holding 3 bowls at once. It's layering aromatics, whether it's deep cooked things like chili oil or fresher, greener pops. Everything they need to make liangfen. I have a sense that right now, at this time in the morning, it's about 8:30. Very, very chill, very calm. Everyone's getting ready for the storm. But if they're going to be serving 3,000 or 4,000 bowls of these snacks throughout the day, it's going to get a little bit crazy a little bit later. We got a table, starting to get busy. It's time to eat this sweet water noodle. 师傅，可以来1碗甜水面吗？1碗吗？对，1碗。Look at these noodles. I love the experience of seeing each individual component of flavor. The chili oil with the chili paste, the sugar crystals, the cumin, a little bit of that sesame, freshly ground. But the magic is in the mix. They were really insistent on me mixing this sufficiently and properly. Mixing is doing 2 things. Number 1 is bringing all those flavors together, obviously. Number 2 is because there's oil in here, but there's also water in the form of soy sauce. Those flavors need to emulsify a little bit. Some of that starch that comes off the side of a noodle, just like in Italian pasta dishes, is going to help this sauce become a thick, messy, but cohesive bite. I mean, look at this. There may be are 3 strands of noodles in here. And look how thick they, there you go. Wow. Mm. Actually delicious. First thing you get is a like barbecue-y, earthy sort of sweetness, but then once that flavor settles in your palate, it becomes spicy. And that spicy is a bright spice. One of the things people get wrong about Sichuanese food is they only think about the spice in Sichuanese cooking. But one of the really important flavor profiles, one of the important flavors of Sichuanese cooking, especially in Chengdu, is sugar. Sichuanese food, as well known as it is for spicy food, only got the chili pepper in the 16th, 17th century. Somebody needs to fact check me on this. It was the spice that we get from Sichuan peppercorns, that numbing, tingly, plus a little bit of that spice from things like cardamom and cinnamon that produce a little bit of that tingly flavor on our lips, but also give a little bit of that earthy spice note. Those flavors are so important inside of tian shui mian because that is the backbone, and the sprinkling bright zest on the top is the chili oil. A little bit of that sesame seed at the back helps bring the entire thing together. It like anchors it in a little bit of nuttiness. I mean, it's a delicious, hefty, sweet bite. And unlike every other noodle that we have here in China, this is not slurpable. Look at how thick this thing is. Inside of the noodle is almost respite for how flavorful the outside sauce is. But it also has to be soft. And you can tell it's got a little bit of that, what Italians look for called al dente. And the center is still a little bit white. Still a little bit of that flour. That's where that texture comes from. The buzz of the spice counteracted by the gentle sweetness. Really, really nice snack. Tiny portion. We can eat a couple of other things. This has become such a steady, normal part of the routine of being in Chengdu, whether you're a tourist or otherwise, that these little bowls, these little snacks can start to demarcate your day. It's a really wonderful culture, I think. Really wonderful little ritual. That was Zhang Lao Er. I don't like to use superlatives, but this is probably one of the best bowls of tian shui mian that you can get in Chengdu, the capital of Chinese snack culture. We are here for snacks. We're here for street eats. So on to the next.